You may already know that a collection of numbers, operation signs, and grouping symbols is called an expression. When variables are part of an expression, it is called a variable expression. Here is a variable expression. A plus B take away 8. And now we're going to try to evaluate the expression for values that were given for the variable. So we're going to be given that A is 9 and B is 12. But before we do that, we should look at something called the substitution property, also known as the substitution principle, or often just called substitution. And that states that an expression may be replaced by another expression that has the same value. Well, here are some common examples. We have an addition problem, 3 plus 2, and we substitute a 5 because it's simpler to write than 3 plus 2. Here's a problem involving the addition of two fractions. But as you may have learned quite a while ago, we often find what's called the common denominator for the two fractions, in this case 4. So we keep the 1/4 the same, but we substitute 2/4 for the 1/2 because 2/4 is equal to 1/2. And then we substitute again when we get the final sum, which is 3/4. Here's a fraction that is also equal to 3/4, 9/12. And when we put it in lowest terms, we get 3/4, and we're substituting 3/4, the fraction in lowest terms, for our original fraction, 9/12. And here's yet another example. We have 2 to the 5th power, which we know we can substitute as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, or, of course, 32, the product. Well, now back to our expression. Let's now substitute the 9 in for A and the 12 in for B, and then we have a rather simple expression, addition and subtraction. Addition goes first because it's written first, and we finish it up and we get 13. If two variables are written together, they are to be multiplied. So here we have AB means A times B. If a number and a variable are written together, they are to be multiplied. So here we have 3B means 3 times B. The number is called the coefficient of the variable. So in this case, the coefficient is 3 and the variable is B. Since multiplication is commutative, it is true that 3 times B is equal to B times 3, but it is not customary to write B3. Always write the coefficient first. Evaluate the expression for A equals 9 and B equals 12, but we have a new expression. And so we're going to substitute the 9 in for A and the 12 in for B. Now we have to put the times sign in when we substitute because otherwise it would be 39 and 512, but that's not what it means. It means 3 times whatever A is. So if A is 9, it means 3 times 9. And for 5B, it means 5 times 12. And now in this expression, the multiplications go first, and then the subtraction and the addition from left to right. And our final simplified answer for this expression is 83. Here's one that involves a grouping symbol. But because we've already learned the distributive property, there's 2 ways to do this problem. We're going to start on the left by substituting the 9 in for A, and then we'll do the expression in the group. 9 minus 4 is 5. And then, of course, that means times, so we do 3 times 5 is 15. And while we're at it, let's put the 12 in for the B, which, of course, is 5 times 12. And 5 times 12 is 60, and then we add 15 and 60, and we get 75. Well, the other way to do it is to apply the distributive property. First, we'll substitute the 9 in for the A, and then we'll apply the distributive property, which says that we can multiply the 3 times the 9, and then also multiply the 3 times the 4, and subtract the product of 3 times 4 from the product of 3 times 9. And then we'll do those 2 multiplications, and at the same time substitute the 12 in for the B. And now the 5 times 12 needs to be done, and we're left with 3 numbers, 27 take away 12 plus 60. We do 27 take away 12, get 15, add it to the 60. And the good news is we get 75, which is what we got the first time. And we wanted to get the same answer because even though we evaluated the expression by 2 different methods, it was still the same expression with A equal to 9 and B equal to 12. So 75 is the simplified answer when evaluating this expression. And now we're going to do one that involves exponents. This time A is 2 and B is 5. And we'll substitute in first. And then we have to do what's in the grouping symbol next to get 8. The exponents come next. So the 2 to the 4th becomes 16. The 5 squared is 25. And the 8 to the 3rd is 512. The multiplication then goes, and now the addition goes in, and those three numbers add up to 603, and we've simplified another expression. To summarize, evaluate variable expressions by substituting given values for the variables.